Something that I really, really struggled with growing up was feeling like everything was had to be transactional. So I don't know if you struggle with this or not. There's a lot of people in our community that struggle with this as well. I had to leave my home at an early age, and I remember going to that first place. I had a couple friends that took me in, and I remember going into that first home like just so thankful that I had a roof over my head and a place that I could go, that I wanted to make sure that I was the best housemate possible for that situation. And that began a story in my head around I was making sure I was doing like the laundry, offering to do laundry for everybody, vacuuming, cleaning the house, learning how to cook food. Like I wanted to be a person of value so that I could give back and appreciate, but also keep myself safe, keep myself in having a shelter. And that story, like that belief, pulled me in. And that became a part of who I was for the next 40 years. So in that, right, everything became transactional. I had to make sure that I was providing enough value to have worth, to be safe. So everything that we did, right, in business, in relationship, making sure everybody else was okay before I could be okay. This is the beginning of people pleasing being a coping mechanism. Making sure everyone around me was okay so that I was liked, so I would be kept safe, and ultimately I would have a shelter, or ultimately I would have revenue, or ultimately I would just have something. Well, that led into impossible tasks, impossible projects where there's no possible way I could be making everyone else happy around me. So when I started letting people down, that became hugely damaging to my own self-worth. And what did that look like for me? When I started realizing that I couldn't make everyone else happy, at first I was feeling like completely helpless and that I was losing deals, I was losing employees, I was having hard conversations, and these hard conversations were turning into like big messes, right? Where even if I had someone completely stealing from me, I was having a difficult time having that conversation with them because I didn't want them to feel hurt that they were going to lose their job. It became a huge mess. And that followed into every aspect of my life. So I share this to see if you might have had a story around that. There's a lot of people that feel like the only way they can be okay is to allow other people to be okay. And how that translates now is that even when they've just set a boundary like, I am not okay with this happening in my relationship. I'm not okay with this level of behavior. I'm not okay with you stealing from me. Those things are a normal part of life. And if we set those boundaries, sometimes it feels like we just like taken a piece of ourselves and trampled on it. And there's other people in this life that have the opposite, right? They were trained to go into a room, find the most powerful person in the room, and then overpower them and be the strongest alpha person in the room so that no one else could mess with them. That's the opposite. And when those two people meet, there are relationships. That's where abuse comes in. That's where reciprocation, one needing to serve the other and the other having all the power and all of the desires and everything wished upon them. So this is just a topic that sort of came up for me today, and I wanted to share because I've been learning how to stop being transactional or of value. One thing that I've learned over the past 4 years especially has been we have this inherent value, but it took so much to unwind, right? Who was I without providing value? Or who was I when I let people down? Did I still deserve to exist? And again, I'm sharing that in case any of that resonates for anyone. So really feel into that today for yourselves. Where are you feeling like you have to earn love, earn your way into revenue? There's a big grind and hustle culture too. We speak to that a lot, right? Like, what does that look like for you? going on social media and seeing everybody doing the 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. grind and shuffle at their work, and they celebrate that. They celebrate it on social media because that's the culture we live in today, right? Earning all the bonuses, earning the raises, earning the massage, earning the time off, and then on the most extreme part of the scale, earning love, earning relaxation. There is such a freedom that unlocks when you stop realizing you have to earn anything. When you start beginning to understand that just the story of you existing in this world, beating 13.8 billion years of evolution, to be here on this earth at this moment in this place, experiencing life in all of its forms, learning who you are, learning what it's like to have an authentic connection with other humans, learning what it's like to feel discomfort, to feel uncomfortable emotions, to go through the challenges that every single human on this earth goes through. And every single human does. Doesn't matter what we see on social media or what we think is actually happening in the world. We are all having a shared human experience. So part of what I do now in my own life is to uncover these stories, these programs, these beliefs that I've picked up that have been coming in my mind and all operate to try to keep me safe. And that needing to earn my keep, which ultimately translated into just earning my existence. And where does that still show up in our lives? For me, I also realized recently I've been having a lot of friendship conversations, realizing that I'm so hesitant to even accept friendship. I don't even know what friendship is because in my world, if I said yes to being a friend, that meant I could let them down somehow. This was a huge revelation I just had like 4 months ago. Because someone said, are you my friend? I had to think. I didn't want to say yes. I'm like, well, why aren't I saying yes? It's because I didn't want to let them down. So I'm sharing that maybe to be a little vulnerable, but also to have you look inside. Are you still trying to prove your worth? Are you still trying to add value over the top? There's nothing wrong with earning and working hard, especially if you're growing a business or you're working hard to be in a better career. And you need to work hard if you are a family man or a family woman and want to raise the best kids and have a connected relationship. Like that's all part of this. But just start to unwind these stories. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. I read all the comments. I'd love to hear from you if you're on our Manifest Monday calls every Monday, 9 to 9:30 EST. It's all free. Jump on in with us. What stories are you unwinding? And is there still a level of being transactional in everything you do? Where if you do something, you're secretly hoping that someone else is going to do back for you. Thought of the day.